You can hear Phil Elson and Bubba Carpenter with The Call on many of these same stations, starting tomorrow at 4:30, and Bubba Carpenter is with us now here on Ruskin and Zach, and hopefully our equipment works and this all works. Bubba, good afternoon. How are you?
What's up, fellas? How y'all doing?
Doing good. Sounds great.
Yeah,
all right. We are
for the
don't
moment. You sound great. Yeah, don't move. Whatever you do,
and
don't
nobody
move.
in here move.
Yeah,
either. Nobody here in the
move.
station move. Yeah. So
Are we having technical problems?
we have had today, but so far so good. Hopefully we can go and not have any more of those. I mean, obviously the number one thing on everybody's mind when you talk about Razorback baseball is Kevin Kopps and what he has done. And I'm just like, this is a dumb question, but maybe you can answer. How is he doing this? How did this come about where he became the most dominant pitcher in all of college baseball?
You know what? It really, honestly, guys, it came from struggling last year. I don't know if y'all remember, but statistically speaking, he was the worst pitcher on the team last year before the season was shut down with COVID. And he made a decision, I'm going to go work my butt off and figure this thing out. And with the help of Hogs and the staff, and a lot of it he did on his own, during the summer when they were shut down, they couldn't go to the facility. He worked on that cutter. He changed his 4-seam fastball to a 2-seam fastball so he could tunnel the pitch better. And, man, you come out this year, and he's able to spin that pitch, fellas, on 3 different axes, which is remarkable. It's the same grip. It's just he can spin it 3 different ways. That means you get 3 different results from the same pitch. And to see what he's doing in college baseball, I've never seen anything like it. I've talked to guys all around the country, and they all say the same thing. To see how he's dominating, good SEC hitters, just good college hitters. I mean, you just don't see numbers like his ever.
So what is it? Because I've heard a bunch of different people. It's a curve, a slurve, a slider, a cutter. We've taken to calling it around here a slutter because we don't even know what it is.
Leave it to you guys to call it that.
Of course.
That's right. But what is it?
It's honestly, if you're going to, as a scout's going to call it a slider. That's what they're going to call it. It's really a slider / slurve that he throws, and he spins it slightly different, really, to be honest with you. But, Kevin calls it a cutter, and so if Kevin calls it a cutter, I'm going to call it a cutter. I mean, and it's kind of Hobbs, Matt Hobbs. I love Matt Hobbs. Listen to him talk pitching. He said, look, you can call it anything you want. You can call it Steve if you want, but it gets outs, and it gets a whole lot of outs. But honestly, it's really a slider, to be honest with you.
Okay, so
we are calling it Steve now.
I like slutter. That just works for me. So I've got a question. I was texting back and forth with a former Razorback baseball player, and he just marveled at how bad the swings that other teams take against this thing are. When it is breaking, it is really tilting and going down, they're just beating it into the ground. It would seem at some point somebody's going to figure out that maybe we're going to start swinging like uppercuts at this thing and try and pick it up on the way down and instead of trying to hit it when it breaks.
Well, I think the team that figured it out the most was Tennessee. To be honest with you, they took some really good swings at it. And I talked to Tony Vitelli after the game, and he even said that. He said, look, at least we're the first team to figure out Kopps' cutter. Well, they still had some really ugly swings on it. So I don't think they fully figured it out. But if you guys in the lineup hit the ball hard, but it's still, let's look at Vanderbilt. In my opinion, Vanderbilt has the best offensive club in the nation. He absolutely made those guys look like little leaguers out there. He abused them with that pitch, and they knew it was coming too. And what I love about Kevin and Opitz, the two of them working together is just genius. Opitz knows when they're just sitting on that cutter, he might throw them a 2-seamer in at 92, or he might go with an overhand breaking ball that it's 79 to 80 and then come back to the cutter. And you don't ever want to get beat with your secondary pitches. You always want to get beat with your best pitch, but he'll always go back to the cutter, but he'll show them some other stuff early in the count and then come back and get them out with the cutter. It's amazing to see what he's doing.
I just one more question from a hitting standpoint. You're a great hitter in college. I mean, you see this thing. I mean, there's got to be something at some point that you're going to adjust to. Are you crowding the plate? Are you backing up in the box? Do you treat it like a knuckleball and try and catch it before it breaks? I mean, they've tried everything on earth and nothing has worked.
Okay, honestly, here's I don't know. I doubt that NC State's listening. It's almost like, do y'all remember Mariano Rivera?
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Best closer in the history of the game. I mean, the guy was unbelievable. One pitch, a cut fastball. Guys knew it was coming. They couldn't hit it because your whole life, you're taught to see the ball, hit the ball. Your body knows where that ball is going to end up. So the only way you can hit Mariano is to swing where the ball isn't. You have to anticipate, and that's really hard to do. So to face Kopps, you've got to actually see where that ball is. You've got to swing below swing plane on that pitch, which is very difficult to do. You've got to be mentally tough to do that, to swing below what your body's telling you to swing at. And that's the only way to do it. And college guys just can't do that. It takes a long time to learn to do that.
Especially when you only see them once.
Yeah.
And, and to be honest with you, if you do that, he might throw the one that spins a little more horizontal, gets a little more horizontal break. You swing underneath it, and you miss it or pop it up. And that's what's so genius about this pitch. It's kind of a get me over, get me out, and make me look totally stupid pitch. He's got three different ones. He can throw one for a strike. He can throw one when he wants weak contact, and he can throw one when he needs a strikeout just to make you look really silly. And I call it your go call your mommy at bat, because you just look so bad that no one loves you but your mommy, and he can do that, and it's amazing. I've described Kevin Kopps in about every possible way that I can, and there aren't really the right words to describe what he's done. I mean, Monday was unbelievable. The atmosphere at Baum-Walker, the way his performance, just everything about it was the most awesome game I've ever seen at Baum-Walker. I've never heard it louder. The fans were incredible, and hey, tip your hat to the Baum-Walker fans, because that's why those Nebraska pitchers got out there, and you've got 12,000 people chanting ball four. Their little buttholes were so puckered up, and I don't know if I can say butthole on your show or not. Their booties were so puckered up, they couldn't throw the ball even close to the plate. I mean, it was awesome to see. And then, credit to Razorback hitters for being disciplined to lay off when they did throw a borderline pitch.
Yeah.
Those last couple of innings, I mean, tip a hat to the Razorback fans, the Baum-Walker fans, because they were awesome.
We're talking with Bubba Carpenter here on Ruskin and Zach. So that was another question I wanted to get to kind of put the ribbon on Kopps is, okay, so we know what he's doing. The question is the stamina. Like, how much can he keep this up for, I don't know, 5-6 more games? I don't know. You get a day off if you make it to the next round. Like, how much longer can he do this?
Hey, hold on just a second.
Okay.
Carson Shaddy's here. Give Ruskin and Zach a shout out. What's up, fellas? How we doing?
Hey, what's going on, man?
Oh, nothing. I'm just over here using Bubba's cages.
Cool. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Awesome.
He came over to give me knuckles, so I want to give a shout out.
Okay. All
hey,
right.
he's my favorite. Sorry. That sounded kind of like I was name dropping, I guess, but I love Shaddy. One of my favorite all-time Razorbacks, Carson Shaddy.
Awesome. So I was asking you about Kopps, and I was asking about the stamina. Like, we know about the stuff and the the technical on the spin rate and everything, but the how much more like that home run call from McGuire's 70th. How much more can you give us, Kevin Kopps? Is the question.
Hey, he's not your normal pitcher. You watch him go, and it's so effortless when he throws a pitch. I mean, you look at his mechanics, and it's just an easy delivery. He could have kept going on Monday, to be honest with you. And I know they tried. They talked several times about taking him out of the game, and Kopps said he wouldn't come out of the game. But I don't think there's going to be any effect at all. I think we're going to get a lot out of him this week. Whatever we need out of him, Kevin's going to be there because he's mature, he's strong, he knows his body. Whether it's the beet juice or whatever it is, I don't know. He's going to have us all drinking beet juice, so if he keeps this stuff up.
How frustrating is it as a hitter to have a guy just throwing a ball up there that you can't hit and then flip it around? How much confidence does that defense, because it feels like the minute he comes in, everything settles down.
Oh, absolutely. I've been calling it the Kevin Kopps effect. When he comes in the game, the offense does better, the defense does better, the umpire strike zones, everyone just kind of gets in a groove when he comes in the game. And it's awesome to see, but you can see it affect the Razorback hitters. all of a sudden their bats get just a little bit better. We start to score runs. I don't know. And, you call it the Kopps Affect. I think it's just, baseball is a mental game, and I really think it affects everybody mentally. And the umpires know, hey, this guy's really good. Therefore, they kind of get in a rhythm with him and start calling that pitch. But sometimes I think he fools the umpires. I really do. I think they don't anticipate, because it looks like a fastball coming in, and all of a sudden it's down here, and they miss pitches sometimes that they should call strikes. But, once they see it a couple of times, they do a pretty good job with it. But, yeah, I mean, it shortens the game, and that's what's crazy. If you're NC State, you've got to look at it and say, hey, we basically have 6 innings to win this game, because if it gets to around the 7th and we're behind, we're done, because Kopps is he's as automatic as I've ever seen in the game of baseball.
Talking with Bubba Carpenter here on Ruskin and Zach. I like to look at things that maybe a lot of people notice, and I know you and Phil have talked about this throughout the year, but watching these games and that center field camera a lot throughout the season, Casey Opitz' role in all of this, because there's catchers and then there's framers, and there's the way that he can move the glove without the umpire knowing he's moved the glove. Is that a big, maybe not a big part, but that's a part of a lot of this too, isn't it?
Oh, it's huge. It's so, he steals so many pitches, and I don't know if y'all listen to the games or not. When Phil and I do the broadcast, but we both talk about it on the air all the time during the games, how he steals pitches off the plate. And I've never seen anyone better at the bottom of the zone. He can take a pitch that's shin high, catch it, and it looks like it's above the knees. And the other thing I like about Casey Opitz is just his enthusiasm back there. When a guy makes a good pitch, I mean, he's fist pumping, pounding his glove, giving him thumbs up. I mean, it pumps me up in the booth just watching Casey Opitz catch. And the pitchers love it too, and for guys, when you've got a catcher that you can bounce a ball and not have to worry about it getting by him, they commit fully to that pitch. They're not afraid, whether it be Kopps or Wickland or whoever, they're not afraid to bounce that breaking ball, because they know they got the best catcher in the country behind the plate.
Yeah. Are you the most stressed out person at Baumwalker on a game night? Because we see you up there with the bat, you're just pacing. You stand the whole time.
Hey, I'll tell you what, guys. I'm not stressed, believe it or not. I'm having fun and I'm excited. I don't know. Phil thinks I'm nervous. I'm not nervous. I'm just having fun. No. And I mean, I'm a high energy person, and I get into the games. And someone was telling me the other night, that they noticed that when we're hitting, I have the bat in my hand. When we're in the defense, I toss a ball up. Well, I didn't even realize I've done that. I've been doing it for 4 years and didn't even realize I do it. But now I was a little nervous on Monday. I was a little frustrated. We were chasing some pitches out of the zone, and I was like, wow, things just aren't going right. When we did piece up a ball, it went right to them. But for the most part, man, I'm just up there having fun, and this is such a fun team to watch. This is probably the most special group of Razorbacks I've seen. That 2018 team, the Shaddy group, I love those guys, but these guys are so much fun to watch. I don't know. I can't wait till tomorrow.
It's going to be fun. We're talking with Bubba Carpenter here on Ruskin and Zach. From a technical standpoint, when Charlie Welch hits that home run, how hard is it for you to be quiet? Because Phil gets this call off, and there's a million other radio crews in America where the other guy would have been, oh, but you were restrained. How does that happen?
It's hard, and I don't know if y'all early in the year, Goodhart hit a ball over the building in right field, and I said, holy cow. No. I said, oh my goodness, as soon as he hit it. And I didn't mean to say it, but you can hear it in the playback. But it's hard. It really is, because especially in a moment like that, I just want to say, grrr! I just want to yell and scream, and it's so hard. But, when you go back and you listen to Phil's calls, I've learned to be quiet, because even the next day, I listened to Phil's call the next day. Zach, our producer, sent it to us, and I listened to it. Then I heard it again on Twitter a couple times. I still get chills when I listen to his calls, because he is so good at calling it. So it makes it worthwhile. But sometimes I just want to go, freaking let's go. There's a lot of things I want to say that I can't blurt out, and it's amazing that I've never done it. But I got to have a little self-control up there. But yeah, it is tough sometimes. I'm not going to lie to you. And then sometimes we just enjoy listening to the crowd. There might be a bomb, and the crowd will be crazy, and Phil and I will look at each other, and he'll give me the thing, like, hey, let's just listen for a second. And we love hearing the crowd respond to what's going on the field. And sometimes I would rather listen to the crowd cheer and yell and call the Hogs than listen to me babble about something. So to me, that's exciting, and I get goosebumps. And when I've got the headphones on, I can hear the crowd, but not as loud. I've been taking one ear off so I could really hear the crowd in the background. And man, it's unbelievable the atmosphere we've had out there.
NC State can hit. I mean, they've got 5 guys with double-digit home runs. They've got guys hitting over 300. Arkansas doesn't have a guy hitting over 300 right now. Any concern with this pitching staff if they get into a situation where you've got to go to a game 3 and they've used Kopps on a Friday? Any concern with keeping this NC State offense off the board?
Well, I think our offense is going to keep them off the field. I think they've got a couple of pitchers that are pretty good. They rely on 4 or 5 guys. They got a pretty good lefty out of the pen. It's got, I think, 10 saves. He's pretty good. They got a good Friday night guy, but they don't have a lot other than that. And here's what our offense is really good at, getting pitchers' pitch counts up. So I think it's real important that we go out and we're patient. We get the pitch count up. We get their starter out of there, and we get into their pen early because I don't think they've got a lot in the pen. If you look at their numbers out of the bullpen, there's not a lot of guys they rely on down there. They're real heavy on just a few guys. So once we get through those guys, I think we're in good shape. So I really think our offense is going to be key. And, their earned run average, they give up a lot of runs. So I think we're going to score. And, look, for people that were worried about the Nebraska series, I talked to a couple of players, and they said, look, that Nebraska team was really good. They had pitchers that could spin it up at the top of the zone, and they had guys that could spin it down at the bottom of the zone. I mean, they were way better than what I thought they were going to be. And I know we chased some pitches out of the zone, but I think it's hats off to their pitching staff. And I just think we're going to go out. I think we're going to rake these NC State guys. And I don't know. I think we're going to hit the ball a lot better. I really do. I like our approach. And if we do that, then it takes pressure off our pitching staff, and we don't have to lean on Kopps so much. But look, we're still with Wicklander. I still like Lyle Lockhart. I mean, we're fine. I think we're going to be in good shape.
I know you're a huge Yankees fan. I'm a Red Sox fan, so it's my obligation to point out your boy Cole. I mean, if that's what you need to beat us, I get it.
Oh, you're just mad because he's putting a little bit of that sticky stuff on the ball. That's all it is.
That's all right. Devers still hit it out. I mean, it's fine.
Well, hey, my Yankees. I didn't know you were a Red Sox fan.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be talking to you if I knew that.
Oh, this
all the way back to Bucky effing Dent.
This marks the final appearance now of Bubba Carpenter.
We'll take Bubba's picture off the wall. We can't have him on anymore.
Can hear Bubba and Phil tomorrow starting at 4:30 on many of these same stations for Game 1 of the Super Regional. Thank you, as always, Bubba. We enjoyed it.
All right. Y'all going to make it out there?
Well, maybe not Game 1. Yeah, but we have other obligations. But we may be out there.
I don't know that Uber goes from Rogers to Fayetteville.
Well, it does. It's going to cost you a little bit.
That's right. You got your Twin Peaks thing tomorrow.
That's right. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. We'll be otherwise occupied.
That's right. But we'll catch you maybe for Game 2.
Well, that sounds good. Well, hey, I appreciate y'all having me on. Go Hogs.
All right. That's Bubba Carpenter with us here on Ruskin and Zach.
He's the best.
Thank you to our Road to Omaha sponsor, Steve Feinberg and Associates, along with the Grease Pig and Construction Masters Roofing.